It is difficult to deny at this point, isn't it? Isn't it? Is it a little hard to deny that radicals, Islamicists, communists, socialists will work together against Israel, against capitalism, and they'll try to work together to overturn stability? Who in the media is telling you this? Who? Name them! Where are they? How can they possibly deny it at this point? And why wouldn't they tell you these things? Why? Protests become contagious. Can you deny this anymore? They'll cascade. They will sweep the Middle East, and they will begin to destabilize Europe and the rest of the world. Tell me what the hell Madison is. Show that picture up in front of New York right now. Tell me what this is. What the hell is this? What is it? It's the unions poking, pushing, prodding. That's what it is. They will lose because they don't know who you are. But where is anyone being honest with you? After everybody gets together and sings Kumbaya and pushes us into global revolution, well, then the personalities will start to clash. And this is how it ends up. A nouveau ordre. Well, what is the New World Order? What is it? Has anybody even explained it to you? Everybody is talking about, oh, well, it'll be great, democracy. The whole Middle East is changing. Has anybody told you what the outcome could possibly be? You know what? Revolution in 1776 didn't just happen. They had some of the greatest minds thinking about it, studying it out in their mind. Why are we a republic? Because they knew democracies never worked. How did we come up with our Constitution? You had the greatest minds in America working on it. Well, where are the people that are working on this new vision? I'll tell you. Oh, but it's a conspiracy theory. They'll all talk about a new world order, but they won't explain it to you. You know why? Because they know you don't want it. New World Order. Option 1, an open society with Mr. George Soros. United Nations. How many times have you heard people like Bill Clinton talk about this? It is either a borderless world where we're all told exactly what to do with something like the United Nations, or MSNBC just wrote and just read this whole thing yesterday, he's the president of the world now. There's option 1. Option 2, the United Islamic Nations. That's what the Muslim Brotherhood is calling for. The Islamic Caliphate. That's what Iran is calling for. That's what this dude is calling for. That's what this guy will be in Washington, D.C. Was it next week? Calling for here. Sharia law. That's option 2. Option 3, global communism. That's what Van Jones is calling for. Code Pink. You can call it state capitalism if you want, but this guy wants it, this guy wants it, this guy wants it, this guy wants it. You tell me, where does the president fit here? Take a stand, Mr. President. Where do you stand? Where do you stand? I know who you're talking to. You're talking to this guy. You're not even talking to your own cabinet members. Not my words. NBC. You know, the people you've been in bed to put together this new green capitalism. These are the visions on how the world shakes out, and they're not academic theories to these people. They have dedicated their lives, most of them, into making this a reality, and they are organized. Do I need to show you the picture of the clowns out front with the cheese hats? They will try to move when there is an opportunity created by a perfect storm. Well, that's what I want to concentrate on tonight. What happens? Which one is going to be the one that throws us out of balance? The economy, energy, gas prices, the enemy within, the border, extremist Islam, war? Which will it? Which will it be? The pressures become too much. And at some point, America will be so weak that her enemies will all pounce without coordination. I said that in 2006. Let me show you Libya. Libya is a member of OPEC. It is capable of producing about 1.8 million barrels of oil every single day, 1.8 million barrels. That, so you know, is between 2 and 3% of the world's oil output. About 90% of that goes to Europe. But that doesn't really matter because oil is a global product traded on a global scale. When 1.8 million barrels just disappear from the market, everyone on every country in the planet will feel it. Countries need their oil, and they'll have to get it, and that will kick up prices. Oil today went up 8%. And only 3% of the Libyan oil has been disrupted so far. So what happens if most or all of it goes down for any extended period of time? And if the crackdown and chaos continue, it's more and more likely that oil companies will choose to shut down operations until relative calm returns. What happens next? What is the real effect on energy prices necessarily skyrocketing, in the words of our president? I want to show you a chart here. We've shown this to you before. Here's the price of crude oil. Here was the housing price. Notice as it goes up, this goes down. These numbers are not entirely... The housing price is not caused by the rise of crude oil. However, they are connected. They affect... It's well documented right before the collapse. Economists will argue for decades about what the main cause of the collapse was, but no one will argue that that didn't help. Pile on to the oil pressure. The economy back home, what happens? I don't know if anybody is noticing this, but after a little period of recovery, the housing market is tanking again. Why is this happening during a recovery that we've all been promised? Housing prices have now fallen back to the prices of 2003. Does anybody seem worried about this? And how about the stock market? Took a huge tumble today. Sure. But that might not be the end of it. Robert Prechner, a technical market analyst, told the New York Times, quote, "I think the bear market will end when most debtors default. Most debtors default. And the media changed from calling it a Great Recession, that's over, to calling it a Great Depression. That isn't." He added, "State and local governments will soon cut spending and borrowing. And when the federal government finally cuts spending and borrowing from the Fed, either within or without, is forced to stop its quantitative easing program, the game will be up. It's only a matter of time, gang. There is no one who would rather come to you every day with stories about cute little kitty cats being rescued from trees. I'd love to do that, but that is not the world we live in right now. And we can make this about cheese hats, or we can make this about the truth, because the truth has no agenda. We have a world that is on the brink at several different pressure points. We need to understand them and prepare for them. And tonight, we'll do just that. The price of oil climbed over $95 today, the highest it has been in 2.5 years, and driven by the latest wave of violence in Libya. So what does this mean for your freedom? Here's Charles Payne, CEO of wallstreet.com and Fox Business Network contributor, and Eric Bolling. He is the host of Follow the Money on the Fox Business Network every night. All right, guys, first of all, you were in the oil trading business for a while. I said to my company today, I have to find out what the number is, but a sustained, I'm thinking 115, 120 is going to make things, price of oil per barrel is going to make things really, really soft and dangerous, and a spike up above that could collapse us. Sustained 120 per barrel, 3-4 months, and then a real hard spike. Do you think that's reasonable?
Sure. You know, Glenn, we did this a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. We traded up to $147 a barrel, but as you point out, it was very quickly, it fell off the end of the table from 147 to 33.
We weren't as weak as we are now.
It wasn't sustained. Well, it was a drilling issue, and there were things going on. You're right, though. You put a $120 barrel on the market for any period of time, that means somewhere around a $4.25 gallon of gasoline. American consumers, that's a lot of money out of the American consumer's pocket. That's hundreds of billions of dollars annually that go directly from the consumer, shipped overseas to people who hate us.
Show this chart over here.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Shows
all right.
what this is. Bring the lights up so he can be.
Okay, so here we are. Here we are today, $3.17 on the pump, average pump price, okay? Problem is, the prices that are being discovered right now haven't hit the pump. They're on their way up. I think today, we're already in a $4 gallon of gasoline. I think the summer you're going to see $4.
What we bought already at a higher price.
Glenn, this price that you see on a national average doesn't take into account what's going on in Egypt, doesn't take into account what's going on in Libya over the last 2 days. We're 15 cents a gallon higher in just on the Libyan unrest. So add that on its way clearly to a $4 gallon of gasoline, and that would cost the American consumer $138 billion. We use 138 billion gallons of gasoline per year in America alone. Do it again, go one step further. Venezuela. Chavez says, hey, Triple E, you want to come over here? You want to come hang with us? If they get involved, put Venezuela on the map, $5 gallon of gasoline.
Do you know anything about Venezuela? I hear that there are contracts with China. Ours are up in like 2 years, and we're getting a lower grade of oil to refine, or our contracts are up with that.
Let me just throw in here. I know this. Hugo Chavez has done something absolutely atrocious to America. He said, yeah, we have contracts with America, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm breaking the contracts. I'm shipping oil to China at an expense, at a higher cost to Venezuela, just to give the Chinese those barrels of oil rather than America.
Right. When does that start?
He's doing it right now. He's already said, I'm shipping them over there. Any additional barrels that we wanted to buy here, because we need it, we demand it, he sends it over there. China's very smart, though. China makes its bed with many, many different countries, including...
I want to talk about China, and I want to talk about Russia here in just a second. Okay, so
we'll keep going.
Next one.
Next one.
Iran.
Iran gets involved, all bets are off. You could see a $7 gallon of gasoline. By the way, you put $7 on the pump, $550 billion of American consumers' income, money, pocket money, going overseas, going to the Middle East, going to OPEC. Okay. And this one, here's the Mac Daddy of them all. Saudi Arabia. If Saudi Arabia were to get involved, if this violence were to spread, we've already seen it go from Tunisia to Libya. If it ever spread into Saudi Arabia...
Can you bring that chart up for me?
$1 trillion.
Trillion dollars. Bring the chart up for me, please, up here on the big screen. The chart of in trade that is looking at which dictators. Do you see this?
No, which one's the next one to go?
Yeah, who's the next one to go? I'm telling you, if you just look at the map, well, here it is. You look at the map here. You look at the map here. Right here. Here's Libya. Here's Egypt, Algeria. Here's Saudi Arabia. This one is on fire right now. The United Arab Emirates, which is, I think it's about here.
Bahrain,
or not the UAE, but the Bahrain is right there. So you have this on fire, this on fire, this is on fire, this is on fire, this is on fire. Then you have Iran right up here. You have Jordan also on fire. Saudi Arabia is not going to be able to withstand that pressure.
They're getting it from all sides.
They'll get it from all sides.
You know, what's really interesting is if you look at all the OPEC members, Libya, there's only 4 countries where the per capita GDP is higher than Libya. Now this thing, the spark, could have been economic, food inflation, those type of things. But Libyans make 3 times more than Egyptians. So this is going beyond just an economic struggle.
Okay.
Next on the list is Saudi Arabia.
Let's go there, because you also have some thoughts on youth riots as well. So let's go back to Saudi Arabia next.
Well, Saudi Arabia.
And next.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the